Now, engineering is facing extinction in the UK, according to a report published today by the Royal Academy of Engineering. They say the country's engineering sector relies heavily on foreign talent, and within the UK, there simply are not enough qualified and experienced individuals to meet demand. Engineering-related sectors contribute some £280 billion in dollar terms, that's $343 billion to Britain's economy. These sorts of businesses employ 5.5 million people around the country and account for half of all exports. And last year, the Royal Academy of Engineering warned the sector needed at least 1 million people by 2020 to keep everything running smoothly. And the problem is endemic across Europe, apparently. In Germany, the biggest EU economy, about 10,000 more engineers are required this year alone. It's shortfall that's set to triple in the next decade. So how can Britain compete and remain an attractive place to work as it negotiates its exit from the European Union? Well, I'm joined by Hayatun Salim, who is Deputy Chief Executive of the Royal Academy of Engineering, which produced this report. Good morning. Thanks very much for coming in. It sounds like a crisis to me.
Well, yes, I think there is an engineering skills crisis for sure, and what this report focuses on is the fact that the decision to leave the EU, whilst it presents many opportunities, also is going to present a serious challenge to us in terms of being able to continue to meet our skills needs. And so this report actually represents the collective voice of 38 professional engineering organisations, the ones that represent UK engineering, and it's an unprecedented collaboration. We've come together because we believe that it's incredibly important that at this crucial time government has access to expertise, and as you pointed out, engineering plays a very important role in supporting our economy, so we've come together to make sure that we can support that effectively.
I must admit though, when I read the information and the information surrounding your report, I did think to myself, I've heard this before. We are not attracting children who are at school, who then go on to university to become new engineers. We're just not kind of channeling young people into that profession for some reason. Why is that?
So we're hoping that actually the imperative provided by the decision to leave the EU and the impact that could have on skills, combined with the development of a new industrial strategy, will provide us with an opportunity to take really decisive action to tackle what is, as you point out, a very long-standing crisis.
We've not really had decisive action. That's one of the reasons why we've had a real problem.
I think we've been building up towards it, but that we now have extra momentum behind us. So the way in which we're playing our part in ensuring this happens is through the Engineering Talent Project, which is an industry-led project right across the profession to try to bring about that step change in the attractiveness of engineering, so looking right at perceptions in the wider public, because we know that if you don't influence the influencers, parents and careers advisors and teachers, that even if you attract young people into STEM careers, science, technology, engineering, maths careers, that actually they may not go on to choose the right subjects at A-levels and may not choose those careers in the long term.
So it's a cultural issue then?
There is a cultural issue, and in fact we recently produced a report, commissioned a report from CEBR that compared engineering right across the world, and it did show that the UK was significantly behind in terms of things like gender diversity, unfortunately.
All right. We could talk for hours about this, but we haven't got the time, I'm afraid. But Hayatun, thank you so much for coming in. And of course, there's more on that online. But now we've got to